Guys, as you can tell from the palm tree, it's ukulele time again. Since YouTube's giving everybody a little bit of a break from viewing my guitar lessons, I might as well run through some ukulele again. We're going to run through our major 7 chord today. We've done all of the triads in many keys, like C. We've gone from C to the 2 chord D minor, to the 3 chord E minor, to the 4 chord F major. 4 and 5, F and G are major. And then A is minor, the 6th chord, and B is diminished. We can use the fully diminished 7, or we could use the half diminished or the diminished triad, and back to C. Then we could turn those all into 7 chords. The 1 chord is a major 7, 2 and 3 are minor 7s, 4 is major 7, the 5, the major chord, is a dominant 7, which is like a G7 or a D7, which you've seen lots of already in your chord lists. The A is a minor 7, the B is a diminished triad, then a half diminished 7 or a fully diminished 7, depending on what the chord book wants, and then you're back to C. In the key of C, we could look at the notes C, D, E, F, G, A, B, and C. You know that the steps between the notes are whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half. Those are vital in making our chords, and then we can move along and make some of our 7s. I just finished saying that we could play all of the notes in the key. C, make a C chord, make it a major 7. The D note can have a D minor chord or a D minor 7. But instead what I want to do is familiarize you with the major 7 chord. So here's the C chord. You know chords are built in stacked thirds. That C chord has a C, the 3rd note, an E, and its 3rd note, a G. So in C, we've got a C here, a G, an open C, and an E. C, E, and G are in there. To make a 7 chord, we stack one more third. So C, the 3rd note from C is E, the 3rd note from that is G, the 5 of the chord, and the 3rd note from that is B, the 7 of the chord, or the major 7 to be precise. So what we do then is we take this C note, we lower it 1 fret, from C to a B note. When we strum the C chord with that note in it, it's now C major 7. It's got a 1, 3, 5, and major 7 note in it. The B note is counted up from C all the way to the major 7 note. That's 11 half steps, but nobody's counting that. Instead, you could see it as 1 fret, 1 half step back from the root. So C has a C here, fade that back 1 fret, you get to the 7. And there's a C major 7. We're in the C major scale, so the 7 of C is the B major, that's the major 7, so that's what's used in the major 7 chord. If we looked at G, we could apply the same logic. The notes in the G chord are G, B, and D, 1, 3, and 5. There's a G, a B, and a D with another G that's open. To make a major 7, we count up 11 half steps, or whole, whole, half, whole, whole, whole from G, which gives us F sharp. Or we just see that this G goes back 1 fret. So where it was at the 3rd fret, we fade it back to the 2nd fret, and we have G major 7, 2, 2, 2, and open. That's another major 7 chord. Recognize the sound of major 7 chords. They're jazzy and lush. So let's move on to the key of D. We've got a D chord. Same logic as all the others. We have a 1, 3, 5 in there. So we have a D, we have a 3, the F sharp, a 5, the A. This time we've doubled the A. Just because of the nature of the ukulele and where our notes are available, various notes are going to be played twice. The A is played twice in this chord. So that's the D chord. We can count up in D major, whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half, or 11 half steps to find the C sharp, or take a D note, fade it back 1 fret to a C sharp. So there's D major 7. Has the same effect as the others. C major 7, nice and jazzy, G major 7, and D major 7. When you're paying attention to that chord, you may notice that we don't have a D in it any longer. We've got an A, a C sharp, an F sharp, and another A, because we had our A's doubled. Because the ukulele is so small and compact, these voices are up high in the register. They're sitting up high enough that this would be a D major 7 chord up and above the D notes that are appearing in guitars, basses, and pianos. So this chord is actually perfectly sufficient. If you're a little bit particular though, and you're like, well no, I need to get a D note in there as well as the C sharp, then you can go from this D chord, take what would have been a C natural in a D7 chord and move it up a fret to make it C sharp. That makes this a D major 7 again. That's at the 4th fret. This is a little awkward, so the pinky will catch that C sharp at the 4, and the rest of the notes will be barred. To be honest, either D major 7 is sufficient. I tend probably to this one, even though it lacks the D note. I can imagine the D note in it. Something about it allows me to hear that. Some students actually recognize when they hear this A, their ears will fill in the D below. Just psychologically, we know it belongs, but you can put it in if you like. Another example we know well is F. So you can take your F chord. Same rule as always. F, A, and C are the 1, 3, and 5. F, A, open C. A is doubled again. So when I take this F note, I can remove it, and I get the E note. That's what it looks like. Half of you are going right now, wait a second, that's A minor. And indeed it is. F major 7 has A, C's, and E's in it, just like A minor does. The problem being that F would also have an F somewhere in the register, some other instrument, or the context of the song can even make us hear the F. However, if you don't like that, then you can do what your books will tell you, which is to add the 7 somewhere else. So you can take an F and add the E on the 4th fret of the 3rd string. Now what's missing is a C note. We can live without it, but they put it in on the top C note here. So fret-wise I get a 2, an A, a 4, an E, the major 7, the 1, the F, and a 3, the C. That would be your regular F major 7 that the books will tell you. I am not at all averse to playing this one that looks just like an A minor 7. It just has a different name because it would be in a different context. So out of our 7 notes, we've looked at 4 of the major 7s right now. In each one we find the root. C goes down a fret to C major 7. In G, the G goes down a fret to the F sharp note in a G major 7. In D, the D note goes down to a C sharp, or we relocate and find a C sharp somewhere else. In F, the F goes down to an E, or again we relocate and get the E somewhere else. This 4th fret E and the open E are the same pitch. So how about an E major 7? Our E chord looks like this. B, G sharp, E, and B. The E can go down a fret into the D sharp note. So I have 2, 4, 3, 4. Or I can find that D sharp somewhere else. If this is C major 7, slide everything up 2 frets, and I get a D major 7. I can slide everything up 2 frets again, and get E major 7. So that's another way to get the E chord. These 3 notes go into the bar, and we grab a D sharp up at fret 6. Can we get it somewhere else? We can have a B, an E, and a D sharp, and a G sharp. And there's your chord. So 2, B, open E, 4th fret D sharp, and G sharp, the 3rd of the chord, here. Recognize that's actually our F chord, F major 7, lowered a fret. So this chord, back a fret at the open, would be the E major 7. So then we're all the way up to A. Here's your A chord. It's got A, C sharp, and E in it. We need a G sharp. We can add one here, which is great. I've lost my E note though, so I could relocate and find another way to do it. Here's one. A, E, 2, 4, G sharp 4, C sharp 4. So that's an A major 7. It's your G major 7 chord, moved up 2 frets, and the open note of a G chord has been replaced by 2 of an A chord. While I'm doing that, I can just move that again and call it a B major 7. So G major 7 has an open G, move it up 2 frets, add a 2, it's an A major 7, move it up 2 frets, it's at a B, so it's a B major 7. Is there another way to get a B major 7? Well, I need a B, an F sharp, a D sharp, and an A sharp. So there's a way. This one we don't love. B, F sharp, D, A sharp. There's a little bit of an issue having the major 7 on the bottom and the root on top. You can hear a little more dissonance than we actually love there. But there's a fantastic way to do this chord here by putting the A sharp on the top. A sharp, F, D sharp, B. This awesome diagonal line can be a B major 7. From here, 4, 3, 2, and 1. If I move that back a fret, 3, 2, 1, and O, that would be a B flat chord with a major 7. I'd love to move it back one more fret and call it an A major 7, but that open note didn't move, so it's just an A chord. I'd have to get a G sharp into this one. That's where we came up with this A major 7. Or we could create one where we have G sharp, C sharp, E, and A. Again, that does the issue I didn't want before. Exposing the major 7 and the root on top though. So that B major 7 is this diagonal. B flat major 7 is a fret lower. If I go a fret lower, I actually am just on A, not A major 7. So I have to find another A major 7. And that's one of the great ones there. So those are your major 7s, not to be confused with your dominant 7s. This is G major 7, not G7, which you've learned already. D major 7, not D7, which you've learned already. They have different places in the scale and different functions. The one chord of a scale is the major 7. So all of these could have been found in their own key. C major 7 was the one in the key of C. G major 7, the one in the key of G. D major 7, the one in the key of D. Dominant 7 chords, when you say G7 without specifying major, those are 5 chords. So G7 would be the 5 chord in the key of C. D7 would be the 5 chord in G. G, A, B, C, D. Not D major 7, which is the 1 chord in the key of D. It's also a 4 chord, but I don't want to confuse things too much. I'll leave it at that for now. Those are your major 7 chords. Nice, lush, jazzy chords. It's too late now to warn you, but if you're a guitarist and you see the ukulele videos, as always, I'd like to ask you to check them out as well. Give them a chance so that YouTube doesn't just shut them down. Thanks a lot, guys. Have a good one. Bye.